Okay. So for today's Elliott Wave market update, we're gonna still focus on Bitcoin and the ES, but now we're just gonna review our altcoin counts because I believe it's been about a month or about 2 months since we've done this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start with Bitcoin, then we'll do ES, and then we'll work our way down the line here. So the first count we'll review is the one that we've been monitoring mainly, I'd say. Like we're kind of leaning towards this. We don't like the aspect of how much C is disproportionate in time in comparison to the A leg right here. It is very extended in time in comparison to the A leg here, which is questionable, but it's still a valid flat pattern here, a valid expanded flat. It's all a matter of how we're viewing this in the short term. We've got a very bearish scenario where we don't take this highs, and then we have a short-term bullish scenario where we do take the highs, but then we come back down, which we'll discuss shortly. But the other counts that we're monitoring, just to review, is a potential 1-2-1-2, or we're impulsing off the low. And we'll take a look at this in a shorter time frame here shortly. The next one that we're looking at is a ABC, where the B wave is already in. And the last one we've been monitoring is the ABC, where the B wave is not in yet. So jumping down to the lower time frame here, let's take a look at the first count I have going for, like I said, the main count that we've been monitoring here. And it's not really too, we don't have to put too much weight behind the flats and the ABC, because regardless, we're expecting an impulse out of them, out of both of them. So we can fit this impulse into both of those scenarios quite well. The first way I'm viewing this is where we have not completed the move up. Or, yeah, we have not completed this move up yet, where we did impulse down for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We came up a nice quick A, B, C right here. And then we've been contracting a triangle for an A, B, C, D, E. Now, we can move the E over here if it happens to break structure and break this D leg, and especially this B leg. But if it's come back down here, we're just going to expect this trend line to be respected here. And this is kind of what I would like to see right here. I think this would be a pretty quick E leg. We could force it, but I don't like forcing that. And I think it's a little bit better structure looking to have it like this. But as an alternative, like I said, we're aware that it could pop up right here, and we'd have to move our E leg over here. If we do not take the high right here, these relative equal highs, this is how I'm seeing it basically. We have this ABC still here, but we would actually move this wave 2 over here as completed. And this would be our wave 1 to the downside. This would be our wave 2. This is another wave 1 where we can fit it clean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. And then this is a little bit of a tricky mess. Regardless, it is corrective. It's very evident that it is corrective. So there's several ways that we can try to view this structure. I haven't really settled on one where I feel like it respects its structure based off of Elliott Wave completely. So, but like I said, this is definitely or a very corrective structure, no matter how you look at it. So it's in line with what we expect for a wave 2 for a correction. Then we impulse down, and then looking for just one more pop up for this wave 2, and then we start breaking down here. So this is basically, like I said, the bearish scenario if we do not take these highs right here. This basically is encompassing our flat pattern that we've been monitoring. The bullish scenario that we've been monitoring is where we basically bottomed at 15K where we completed a WXYXZ pattern and we hit a cycle 2, and now we're impulsing up for 1, 2, 1, 2. And we're looking at this portion right here, this 1 and this 2. It's not really for certain if this is still an A, B, C. I'd lean more towards this A, B, C pattern because of the structure of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like having this as an A, B, C is relatively forced. I can get a valid count out of it, but it's very forced. I have to force it. When you look at this, even just by itself, from a swing structure, it's a very clean five-way structure. So I'm leaning more towards this being an A to the B into a C, but this could pop up for an expanded flat potentially, and then either come down for a running flat or really push down for a expanded flat, depending upon the strength. We basically would just flip flop these triangles. Like I said, if we're bearish, we've got a triangle this way, and if we're bullish, then we have a different triangle leading up that way. So no matter how you look at it, there's definitely a triangle here. It's very evident. Whether it's a triangle leading to the upside or a triangle leading to the downside is a question. We just have to wait for a break of structure here. The ABC, like I said, we have this as an impulse on our flat count. So no matter what, how we're viewing on the flat count, we're basically just going to mirror it on this one because it's basically the same thing. We have the same expectations for a impulse wave, and they're both what we'd expect. They're both a minute wave currently. So the timing expectation is on point with both of them. So we don't really have to monitor this one too much. It's all about monitoring how it comes down. But like I said, we have this as a minute wave 1 right here, just like this, and a minute wave 2 right here or right here. But we are aware that that ABC could not be completed, meaning the B wave is not done yet. This is how I'm viewing it. I can see this several ways. Either we can say this A wave is completed and do the same thing, move this 3 down and keep doing that. Or we can say it's not completed. It still has one more push up where it basically just takes this high right here, this high that was recreated. Where we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last stream we did, I noted how I've seen how some people are doing a 3, 4, 5 right here and putting their A wave. Like I said, we can force that if we want to, but I think that is forcing it. I really do. I think this it doesn't have the right look and right structure. It would be valid, so there's nothing wrong with that. But I think it'd be a better structure when we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. We do have a Titan validation, but the good thing about this is we have the wave 4 pocket that usually hits more often than not, the 382 to 3414. So that's what it has going for it. And like I said, if this really breaks down and breaks past this, then we can move this A wave over here. And even so, we can kind of fit this ABC into something else too if we need to. So if it comes down like this, and then it pops up like a three-way move, and then comes back down like this could potentially be some type of W. This would potentially be some type of X, and this would potentially be some type of Y as well on the larger scheme. We don't know how we could fit it in yet, but maybe it could even be that we'd have the aid right here. Then we do a WXY correction down for this B wave right here. So that's how we probably could fit this in. Meaning if we take this low, don't break this, through a correct move up and still move down, we probably would force this A over here and force the B over here. So that's how I could see that potentially. Now on to ES. ES has been fairly tricky, and I'm kind of getting a little creative here, I would say. Don't want to say forcing, but like I said, I'm getting a little creative. So just to review, we're still monitoring this WXY, this double zigzag. I once again still think it's very forced because we're so close to these highs and we are already have taken these highs right here. We're in it, even on the futures, we have taken this high like we've discussed too. So I'm really not too sure about this count anymore, the WXY. And as you can see, it's getting very extended in time in comparison to its W wave. So the Y wave right here that's completing is almost, I think, twice as long as the current W wave, which we can measure really quickly actually too. Almost. It will be about twice the length of time if we let it go, if we continue to monitor this count as such. So given that, there are several other ways I'm looking at this. I can't throw this out yet until we really break this high on the index, which might be an inevitable next week. But once again, there is still a potential triangle that we're reviewing. I I think this is a little less probable now due to the distortion of time that we have with the C wave. We can chalk this up to saying, yeah, C waves are the most complex out of a triangle wave, but also it's very dodgy because we have a flat right here. And usually we just can't have flats at all in a triangle typically. So that is a concern. This is something that I may throw out as well. So given that, we're leaning towards basically two counts, which is one that we have been monitoring, which is the WXYXZ, WXYXZ. In this count, we have basically bottomed, at least for now, for the markets, and we're going to hit new highs, meaning we're going to take these highs up here at the 4800s. And there's basically two ways that I'm viewing this right now. The first way is what we've been speaking about before, where this is a running flat, an ABC for wave two. And then after that, we do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave one. And this looks very three wave-ish right here. So to me, it looks like we're either going to do a potential WXY, or we could pop up to the 0.9 or to the 1, 2, 3, 2, 6 for a flat pattern, and then impulse down for an expanded flats. It just depends if we take this high and how deep of retracement we come. And also if we either come down like this for WXY, or if we come down impulsing for a ABC expanded flats. The second way I'm seeing this is just a bullish 1 2 1 2 1 2. I think this is very improbable, but I do just want to keep all the options on the table. But like I said, I think this is probably very, very improbable, but it's still valid right now until it really breaks down. So I just want to show that I don't think it's very probable. We're just kind of keeping it on the table. And then lastly, like I said, I'm getting creative. So kind of looking at the structure differently if I can. Meaning, for right now, I'm seeing this as still a WXY, but in a different manner. Where this is a potential diagonal here for an A wave. It is questionable, and I can discuss that more later in our Discord and the reasons for that. But we have a potential A, B, C for a zigzag, a complex WXY combo, a zigzag into a flat, into a zigzag, and then this could really be anything at this point. It could be a zigzag, which we look to project the most because it's the most common. Could be even a triangle where we just contract right here and don't even really break the slow, meaning we just come deep, then bounce up for a B, a C, a D, and then an E, and then get out of here. Or this could really bounce up, meaning come up here for a flat, and then we impulse down here for a flat pattern. So there's several ways that we can look at this, but like I said, I'm getting a little creative because the main count that we've been following, it doesn't seem very probable structure-wise and time-wise right now. So in the triangle, the same thing. It has the same concern, structure and time. The other one is just an basically up only counts, and I just still can't really place a marker saying this is the bottom yet. I'm surely not there at that point. I still can't label this as the bottom. So at this time, we have a up count and a down count that we're truly monitoring right now. But this is what I am kind of looking forward to at this point, because I do see this as being a very corrective structure right here. It's just very corrective. And I can see this as a WXY, which is something that we'll be looking for in the futures market here this week and next week, which I can go ahead and discuss now. Where are you at? Here you are. Okay. So, like I said, we took this high here on the futures. We're still waiting to take these highs. It hasn't been taken yet, but I do expect them to be taken here potentially. But as of right now, I am seeing this structure as completed as A, B, C, and expanding flats because we do have a combo here for a three-wave move for an A wave, an A, B, C for a B wave, and then an ending diagonal here for a C wave, an impulse for a flat. There's a few ways that I can see this. Like how I was showing, this could be even an A wave. And then we're coming up for a B wave. And we come back down for a C wave before we come up. Or this has completed. This B wave is complete right here. And we are basically impulsing up here for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to complete an A wave. Correct down for a B wave. And then push up for a C wave for that final Y wave that we're looking for. So this is kind of something that I'll be monitoring here and when I'll be trading here when we're looking at the futures this week and next week. Mainly looking for something like this because it does look very impulsive up and it'd be forcing, I think, a B wave, meaning how I was saying a three-wave move and still coming down. I think it'd be very forced. It looks very impulsive like already, so I'm going to be expecting that pull down, the push up, and then that correction back down and the push up. But that's what I'm looking at for the ES. Now let's go over some altcoins. So it's been a while since we've looked at Ethereum. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Let's see. Let's start with the bear scenario because we still still have a bearish sentiment here. Right now, this is a little bit tricky one for me. So I'm seeing this as a zigzag here, an A, B, C zigzag, meaning an impulse, a correction, and an impulse. But this last leg right here has is I think it's I've got to bend some rules. So not bend them, but force accounts per se, because it's very dodgy looking. It's very hard. I've kind of just trying to look at this as a one, two, three, four, five, even a one, two, three, four, five, which we'll discuss here shortly. But the main important thing here is that we can get it to follow a line with Bitcoin. Like I said, I can get it to end here. It's not breaking any rules. It's just kind of forced in my opinion, and the structure doesn't look right, but I can get it to end validly. And when it starts to move down, it looks very clear impulsive move. Okay, one, two, three, four, five. That's a clear impulsive like move right there. How we view this structure, it can be multiple ways. This could be an A wave, that could be a B wave, and this could be a C wave for an expanded flats. This could just be a W here, push down here for an X, push up for Y. There's several ways that I can view this structure, so I'm not really hard set on it. It just depends if we break this high or if we break this low, really, where I can put more weights on something in the shorter time frame. But if we don't think this is done, I mean, yeah, I don't really want to bring it up right now. I think it'd be a little too forced. When we get to there, we might have to do it, but for right now, for the WXY counts, for the bearish count, I would say it has completed. It's done its job. It took in this high. It has valid structure for 5, 3, 5. So it's done what it's needed to. If it breaks the high right here, we will have to force something, but we do have a bullish count. And like we've said, this does look like a very nice three-way move right here. Whether it completed for wave two or it's just a W like we were just viewing, it's uncertain for right now, obviously, but it does look like a very nice three-way move. This is a fairly impulsive looking like structure. It does have corrective characteristics to it, but the overall structure is impulsive. And there's basically two ways that I can see this. First way is we completed this move up just like how we were looking at with our flat pattern, this five-wave move, and we're ABCing down right here. The second way is basically where we have already completed the 1, 2, and we're basically working on the wave 3, the minor 3. I think it's very improbable. It's something we should be aware of, and it hasn't really broken that high right there for the wave 1, so it's still on the cards. But like I said, this structure right here, this leg is kind of really throwing things off. It's too extended for it to be any type of flat right here, and even kind of this is an ABC. Its force is an ABC as well. So it's a very tricky structure just because of this leg right here. So I might have to wait for a little more price action to develop. But like I said, due to our bearish bias, I would still lean towards this count over here. The only thing I don't like, which I have noted right here, is that this wave 2, this minuet wave 2, will be just very extended in time for this wave 4 if we were comparing them, which is a little abnormal. But like I said, the structure is very complex, so it's been tricky. but I would still place a little more weights on this than the bullish structure for right now, personally. What's next? BNB, Binance. I think I might have to throw out a count here. We've been kind of not really putting weight behind this one. We've been just kind of playing around with it because we've been noticing a just kind of bottleneck kind of looking like structure where price is just bottlenecking, contracting while moving down. We could basically move this over. There's no doubt about that. We could say that this is a W, X, Y forming right here. It could even push up and we'd still be okay with that. But I think we're just really kind of forcing this leading diagonal to be a very extended A wave potentially. So I think it's something that's, like I said, we may just have to throw out, but it's not like we were really putting too much weight behind it because it was just something that we were just playing around with it for ideas. Because back in the day, we weren't really seeing new highs. We were still seeing just still bearish momentum down. So we were just kind of coming up with other possibilities and scenarios, and that's what Elliott Wave is. It's basically fitting out which permutation is most probable because Elliott Wave is fractal, so you can kind of use it in a directional type of way, which is what I do. So I think we will have to throw this out, and because, like I said, it'll be getting a little extended in time. And if this does push up like this, where you're just continuously pushing back this wave 5 right here, and we have to give that wave 5 like some time to develop for its three-wave move. So I don't think it's very probable right now. So given that, we're just going to go ahead and get rid of it and take a look at the two counts that we've had that we've really been monitoring. First one is just a WXY combo, where this was a B, C, a flat, a three-way move down, three-way move up, five-way move down for a flat. And I really still think this high is going to be taken, and we're just going to take this high, basically come up, take it, and then come back down. But as of right now, this is kind of what I think or what I'm expecting for the higher time frame. W, X, and then a Y. A good three-way structure. We'll come down, take this low, bounce up for a three-way move, and then complete an impulse down. Top of that, we do have some fib levels here. Like I said, we have the wave 4 pockets, where basically wave 4s always like to end, if anything, is a 3414 to 382. So this is right on time with our expectations of what we would like to see right here. If it doesn't take this high right here, we can view this as a contracting triangle, where it's about to complete a ending diagonal for its A, B, C, for its overall C wave, correct down, correct up, and then start finally making some bearish market structure like that. So it just depends. Really depends if we take this high or not. Like I said, if we take it, we'll be monitoring this. If we don't take it, we'll be monitoring this. Pretty simple. ADA. This one's been tracking very well. So just a quick overview. We're seeing this as a W, X, Y. It is a little bit worrisome with the time of completion for this potential ABC wave because we're seeing this as an A, B, C potentially. But the length of this is getting almost, I think, similar in time or greater in time than this X wave, which we don't like to see when it comes to the smaller waves being larger in time than the parent waves. But I'm still going to monitor right now until it becomes excessive in time. So there is one way that I'm viewing this for push down where the Y wave is not complete. Like I said, we have that impulsive move right here for an A wave. We have a nice three wave, a beautiful three wave move right to what we were expecting, right to our golden zone right there. Now it's all a matter of coming down right here. And just like with most of the accounts that we're reviewing, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, there's a clear impulse coming down here from the highs. I do think we'll still have a pop up right here, then start coming down for the three, the four, and the five. But just have to monitor it a little bit more. I think right here in the shorter term, there's a flat pattern forming, meaning a expanding B, then a C wave, an expanded flat pattern right here potentially forming. So I'll monitor that in the short term. And for any of those that want shorter term time frame updates, just let me know. But if the Y wave is complete, or yeah, if it is complete, this is how I'm viewing it right here, where we have to move the Y wave over here, move the wave two over here. We can view this structure as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for an A wave, correct up, impulse down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a C wave to complete that Y wave. Then right here, it looks like it's basically forming a potential diagonal right here. 5 up, correct down, 5 up, correct down, potentially 5 up to take these highs. Then we have a move down. We either right to the 0.5 or we really push down for the 786 and 706. Just depends on the strength here. Depends on how strong this A wave is, or something like that. Or if it's a relatively weak A wave like this, it only hits the 0.5. If it comes down like this and just hits the 382, we'll most likely be expecting some type of WXY. Usually when corrective waves fall very short, that's when we get to a WXY because the correction wasn't strong enough yet for the wave 2, and usually wave 2 characteristically are deep. So that's when we kind of expect WXYs, and it's only really when we can expect them. Now, there's still another way because we're seeing this not only as a WXY, which we've been discussing, but also an ABC, meaning we impulse down for a large impulse, a large 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for just an A wave, and we're correcting up. Whether this B wave is done or not done. There's two options. Like I said, it could be done as an A, B, C, just like how we have with the other count. If it's not done as an A, B, C, same thing. We're looking for a potential diagonal through a pullback for a B, and then a push up for a C. It just depends really if we continue pushing down or if we do take this high right here. If we take this high, we can probably knock off some counts here and then have some directional trade confluence here. It just depends if we take the high or don't take the high, just like with Binance. MATIC, let's take a look at MATIC here. Let's see. There we go. That looks better. Let's start with the bearish because, like I said, we've got still got a bearish bias here. There's two ways I'm looking at this here. The first way is the B wave is done, where we pretty much hit the mean threshold of that monthly order block and ping the 706 beautifully for a potential B wave. So a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse down, W, X, Y, three-wave move for B wave, and now we're looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you can see right here, on most coins that we're going to view, I'm looking, it looks like it's kind of forming a flat pattern right here. So we're looking for basically those flat fibs, the zero point 0.9 to even the 1,382, which is usually unlikely, but we're aware of it. But usually we look for this zone right here if it looks like a flat is forming and we don't think the wave 2 is done yet. I think it would be very forced if we put the wave 2 right here. So I could see it's coming back up. So that's something we're aware of. But there's another structure I'm viewing where we still take the highs. And I think this is a very forced way to look at this. The only thing that would really push this back up here is if Bitcoin hasn't completed its B wave yet. And I don't like this because of how extended a time the C wave would be in comparison to the A wave. And we could chalk this up to what we talk about usually, where the longer in time it gets. Oh, we're doing this little backwards time right here and intricacy. So the longer in time it gets, the more intricate it can be and the more complex it can be, which is a characteristic of corrected patterns potentially. I just don't like expanding diagonals. I don't really see them very often. I think this is very, very forced personally. If we're bullish, there's two ways I'm seeing this. Either we have completed wave 2, like we were just discussing, or the wave 2 is not done yet, or we're doing a impulse for a 1 into a 2. So there's different ways I can see this in the short term. It just matters if we continue making bearish market structure or if we're ready to take these highs before we come down. So it's not really certain on MATIC for sure right here. And same with most altcoins. Like I said, not sure if this is a 1 into a 2 and then we're coming down, or if we still have a pop up for a flat. For Sol, let's take a look here. So we got same thing in ABC. We impulse down for an A. This one failed to take its high, just like some of the other coins, like Binance. ADA did it beautifully, and some other coins did it beautifully. It impulsed up nicely, but when it corrected back down, it just failed to break this high. And I'm still looking for this high to be taken right here. So I'm looking for this to come down as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave and push up, either for just a moderate C wave or an aggressive C wave. I'm leaning more towards the moderate. Who knows? We'll have to wait till the structure is kind of unfolding to put more weight behind it as well. But as of right now, I'm seeing this still as A, B, C, and then we start impulsing down. If we have completed the correction, we can say this is a WXY, like on most of our accounts. W, X, and a Y. It did hit the 618s beautifully, basically pinged it and immediately bounced off it with a strong 5 waves off the low. And when you see a new low made and 5 waves off the low, it's very strong indication that this is a wave 1 and that was a market bottom. but it's never for certain because it could be an A wave. It's 5 waves. It's never just because it's 5 waves doesn't mean it's not an A wave. So that's the tricky part, and that's something that we're expecting too. So this could be an A into a B into a C, or it could really push up for an extended C, or it could just be a wave three and then correct for wave four and push up for wave five. So this one's pretty clear in direction in the short term. We're looking for a new low, and we're looking for that high to be taken right here. So it's clear on both these counts. It's just a matter of which one either continues the overall trend down or which one creates a new trend up, a new larger trend up. So they're both basically fighting to either, like I said, continue the larger trend down or it's fighting to create a new trend up. We correct down for a two. This is a large one, and we push up for a big three. Take a look at Woo. Like I said, I like the look of this coin because of how beautiful this structure is right here. It's a very nice one, a sharp ABC2 right here, very strong push up for three, almost a picture perfect triangle right here, and a push up for a five. I mean, you really couldn't get any more perfect than this. This is a very clear looking three-way move right here. You could force this as a one, two, three, four, five. I think it looks better as a three-way move overall, the overall structure. But like I said, if you wanted to, you could force this as a one, two, three, four, five. I think it looks better as an ABC, so we'll move on. Same with Bitcoin and some other coins. I see this as an expanded flat here for an X wave. It's a little wonky because of this wave four. It is a valid triangle right here, a barrier triangle, a very weird looking barrier triangle, but it's still valid. One, two, three, four, five. Now it's a matter of looking at this as a impulse down for one. This already looks like it completed a three-way move up for a two and could be pushing down for this wave three. This might be one of our early indicators when the asset's signaling this was the end of the pivot up and now it's time to start the trend down again. That's really all I have for Woo. Like I said, I can only see it's basically one way. I could force this into an impulse. I just don't really like the look of it, so I haven't done that yet. So as of right now, looking at this as an X wave and then a Y wave. And as we discussed multiple times, it kind of depends on how this comes down. If this comes down like a three-way move, we're going to expect a three-way move back up for a potential flat. Usually don't like projecting this though because you don't really see this in a ending wave two. You just don't really see flats like that in an ending wave two for a Y wave. It's more likely that you see a zigzag, which is what we're projecting right here, or we could see a triangle like we were aware of on some other coins too. That's very possible. I think it'd be more probable for the zigzag. Then we'll look at the triangle, and I don't think I'll even bother with the flat because it just seems very improbable right now. It's usually not something that you see for a Y wave for a deep wave too. Like I said, we are getting fairly deep here too because we're pretty much past the golden pocket at this point. But this one looks good. I'm gonna monitor that one. Mana. Mana might be an early indicator up. It's been doing, oh, I mean, the company's been doing, I guess, fairly better than what it has the the past year, especially with its investment into the metaverse. but it's been doing really good lately. So this might be an early indicator for moving up where this was a bottom, and this is a clear 5 waves up the low. Or it's just an A wave. Like I said, you never really know. For right now, this does look like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got a 5 wave structure to it. Very impulsive move up for an A. This looks like it's going to be a WXY because this just looks like a very clear 3 wave move right there. WXY, WXY, and it looks like it's going to be another A, B, C. Something like this. Or we complete the move, just like with most of our counts. This is a 3 wave move. And this is 5 waves off the low for a impulsive wave 1. And we're correcting for a wave 2. I might have to update this because this, like I said, this looks more like a WXY than an ABC personally because of this leg right here. This leg has a very 3 wave structure. But something like this is what we'll be looking for. Another A, B, C. It looks like we'll get one push down, one more push down here potentially, then a corrective move up, and then another push down. Yeah, most of our accounts right now on the altcoins is basically up or down, which is a good thing, meaning there's about to be some confirmation here pretty shortly, like we've been kind of foreshadowing. Like I said, after about a month here, by the end of June, I feel like we'll have some more meaningful price action to make more decisions on the overall markets. And it's not really. Sometimes we shouldn't put too much effort when trying to project the longer term counts, and that's what they are longer term. But we are trying to at least narrow it down more because it's kind of 50-50 right now. But for Link's actually been kind of really mellow. It's kind of just been following its what our expectations. I just don't like how deep of a C wave we had to project here. But we can't rule it out. Like I said, I don't like to just throw out counts. If it's valid, then we need to monitor it. But the probability of it is just not high, which is okay. But if it's valid, it's something we're going to track. The other way I'm looking at this is where we have a moderate C wave. Like I said, we were looking at an aggressive C wave, but this could just be a moderate A, B, C. You can't really get a bullish structure out of this because of how much it's just correcting back and forth. There's just no way that this is a 1 into a 2. There's no way you could fit this into some type of 1 and then a long WXY2 or something like that. It just doesn't have a healthy look to it. Although it did ping the 382 beautifully, I'll give it that. I still don't think the bottom's in yet. I still think we have another low to come, either a moderate or an aggressive one. We'll have to wait for it. But in the short term, we could see this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Really depends on how strong this 3 wave is, this wave 3. If it's just a moderate wave 3, then we'll look for this. If it really is a strong wave 3, then we'll look for the push down. Yep. Phantom. Phantom's been looking pretty good too. So just like most of our coins, we got an impulse down for an A. On Phantom, I really can't get the A, B, C to be completed. So I am still looking for this push up, just like on some of our other coins like Mana and even Binance. We're looking for that final push up because I just can't really get the structure to end cleanly. And that has kind of served us well as viewing at structure and geometry as opposed to just try and get the count to end. Forcing the counts is what we call it. So I am still seeing this where it's a three-way move, three move up, and then we're getting in a three move like this. Just like with ADA, how we're looking with ADA. Then get a potential push up and impulse up here, like that. But just like with the other assets reviewing, we have an alternative WXY. Don't really like the look of this one at all because there's basically only two ways I can see this. Because this is a three-wave move right here, this either has to be the start of a flat or the start of a complex correction. And as of right here, we have it shown as a flat because it's a three-wave move, and we come up into this flat zone. But like I said, when we have Y waves and deep wave twos, we usually don't see flats because of the what should I say? The potential of breaking this high right here. It's just it's not a good look for an alley wave count. It does not have the greatest structure at all. I won't say it's completely invalid, but I would put like the smallest probability behind it. So as of right now, what I think would be better for us is to think of this more as a W, X, Y, either for a complex Y wave, a complex three wave move for Y wave. That'd be better practice. Or it's just the beginning of a triangle, which is something we try to avoid because we haven't even completed the A wave. But usually when you start off with a three-wave move, your options are limited on what you can expect. But it could be something like this. W, X, Y. An unorthodox bottom because it doesn't take this low, but this was the end of the move, so technically potential unorthodox bottom. But I would still lean more towards a even a complex Y wave over that because of how early we would be in the triangle. It'd be pretty presumptuous to do that. What do we have here? Looks like we're looking for this weekly fair value gap coupled with this zero point 0.5 log to just something that's characteristic for a wave two in a larger time frame, I would expect. So this does have some good expectations. And if this fails, then we can come right here to this golden pocket stacked on top of this monthly order block. I wouldn't put too much weight behind this asset though. I would really wait for a lot more considerable price action to make a better decision because it's really uncertain because of this structure right here. And because of, like I said, I can't get this to be completed. It could be an A, B, C. Yep. I just really can't get this pivot right here to be a completed pivot. let's see, Sand, and I think Doge. That's the last two. So Sand has a good look to it as well. Just like with Boo, it just has a very nice looking impulsive structure up. The only thing we didn't like about it was how further along it is with its Elliott Wave counts. The only thing that would fix it is basically a distortion in time where this B wave continues to correct. I don't really like this though because of how short this potential minor B wave was. It's not impossible. It would just really kind of throw the expectations off because, like I said, we don't like smaller degrees extending in time their parent degrees. That's really the only way I can see it because I don't have any other alternative counts. I can't really get this as a wave one because it looks too much as a three-wave move right here. You can't even fit some type of diagonal in there. It just doesn't have the right structure at all. So it really looks more like a three-wave move. So I can't see an ABC out of this. So that's why I'm a little hesitant on this count. But once again, this could even be an early indicator. This could be one of the altcoins that really pop up first before the other altcoins, because there are some coins that do that. There are some of those coins that kind of signal or they move before the other ones do. So this could be one of those because this is a pretty clean looking five-wave structure right here. Five-wave moves up. And like with most of our assets for the altcoins, we're looking for that point 0.5 pivot right here for that characteristic wave 2. And we do have some liquidity resting below it too, so it could really just ping it at this area of liquidity and come back up. And then there was Doge. I'm not sure if this one will rise to heights again. I'm not sure if it will survive, but this is a WXYXZ combo, which is pretty rare. It's not a triple zigzag. It's a WXYXZ combo. The Z wave's getting a little extended in time here, so that's a little bit concerning. I've never really put too much weight behind this asset though when applying Elliott wave analysis, so I'm not really too worried about it because it's not something where I have any kind of funds in or I'm like actively trading. But I know a lot of people love this coin, and it does have some nice swings in the structure to it. And it's currently still following a potential valid Elliott wave counts. So until it doesn't, we'll monitor it. But this is something that I'm pretty much looking at right here. I think we'll still come down, hit the 786. This will be an A, B, C, or just be a W, X, Y. If we pop up and then come down, we could say that this is a W, X, Y, and we just have to move this over. But I don't think it's done yet on the move up. We could force this B wave to be completed, upgrade this to a minor degree. And like I said, say it's completed right here. I would only do that if we really start to push down right here. Daddy Elon's got to say something, or he's got to do something for that, though. I don't know. Something's got to happen for that. The whole market's got to follow along with it, or like I said, I think it's to be pretty forced. So, with that being said, I still expect this high to be taken, push up, and then we come back down here, right to about 3 cents. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the lower time frame for Bitcoin. If ES was printed right now, I'd take a look at that, but I don't think it's, yeah, it hasn't even started yet. So we still got another 2 or 3 hours. But as I always do, I'm going to take a look at the lower time frame on Bitcoin and just take any questions if anybody has any questions that they want to go over. So feel free to post some questions in the boardroom and I'll take a look at them. Or just come off of mute, feel free to come off of mute if you'd like to. Let's take a look. A quick look at NQ would be nice too. Yeah, I can just take a really quick look at it. Let me take a quick look. WXYXZ triangle. Yeah, this is one I put more weight behind right now on Nasdaq, which kind of falls in line with what we're expecting for S&P potentially. Because if S&P doesn't take that high and it just makes one more lower low like this, then that's kind of what we're expecting here. Because even on S&P, we're still looking for one more high. So it really would actually put them right in line with each other. They would both have their X pivots pretty much ending right on time with each other. So I do like this. It's just very odd having a running flat with an ending diagonal because this is an a B, and then an ending diagonal here for running flats. Very odd. It's not impossible. And then kind of same thing here, just like with some of our coins we've been looking for, or some of our assets. We'll be looking just for a quick take of that low, and then an immediate response up, a correction up for a B wave before we come back down for a C wave. So this is, I would say, the main count. Then we are aware of a triangle, but the C wave is getting very extended in time. Luckily for NASDAQ, we don't have the problem of that expanded flat, so it's a lot more cleaner. It has a more valid structure because of the flat that's absent in this. But the C wave's getting pretty extended in time, like I said. And I'm really not sure on this bullish count. We could even put this into a diagonal, just like how we are with the ending. Instead of a an ending diagonal, this could be a leading diagonal. Basically like that. But I am still going to put more weight on the bearish counts. Something like this. So it'd be interesting if ES takes this high, but NASDAQ fails to take it. I will allow it to at least come up like this, because even then, this wave 5 will still be shorter than wave 3. And usually there is an overthrow in wave 5 that we do allow. but it really just has to take this high and then come back down. Otherwise, I don't think we could call this a valid ending diagonal anymore. So the manner of how it comes up right here, like how strong it comes up, will really dictate if this is valid or not. But other than that, anybody else have any other questions? I could post most of these counts too and Elliott Wave counts. I just don't like the clutter of that channel. Yeah, I can do that. Well, yeah, if there is no questions, no big deal. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. But just like always, if anybody has any questions, just feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to answer them as quickly as I can. And just like always, thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. But hope everyone has a great day. And once again, thank you and have a good day. I'll catch everyone later.